What's going on, 49er faithful, 49er fan, 49er gang? This is your boy Niner Gang Podcast back in the building. Try to dumb down that light a little bit. So definitely hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, turn on the post notifications so I can keep you up to date on any and everything San Francisco 49ers. With that being said, man, let's get right on into it. So we got a game coming up in Mexico City versus the Arizona Cardinals. So technically they are the home team, but getting right into it, looks like we're the home team again. The 49er fans travel very well. From what was reported, we took about 83% of those ticket sales. So if we took 83, that leaves the Cardinals 17. Not much left. So at the end of the day, we travel very well. We are the faithful. We are everywhere. We are just as worldwide as any other team. Outside of the Cowboys, they have a really large following. I hate saying that, but it is what it is because it's the truth. So at the end of the day, we have about 83% of that stadium that's going to be 49er fans screaming and cheering for us. The people down south love football as it pertains to such. Hopefully Breezy is safe in his travels when he gets down to Mexico. Him and John Chapman and anybody traveling to Mexico, be safe. Make sure that you keep your head on the swivel down there. You got to remember, in a different country, things work differently. Probably best just keep your jewelry tucked. Make sure that when you go down there, anything you're wearing is stuff you don't necessarily care about. I'm not saying that Mexico is a dangerous country, but you're in another spot. And believe me, when you come from America and you go to countries where our dollar is valued way more, there are sometimes a little bit of people that are looking out there that, come out there. There's some jack boys running around. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying that's all of Mexico. I am not casting any aspersions on them. I'm just saying there's people like that everywhere. And when you go somewhere where people don't have a lot and they see that they think you might have more than them, they'll come for you. So just be careful while you're down there. Have a good time. Don't drink too much tequila. Make sure you enjoy some of the tacos and burrito, everything that you can enjoy. The Mexican cuisine is pristine, to say the least. It is awesome. But this game, man, let's talk about it. So first thing first, we're going to look at the injury report to be able to figure out exactly what's going on, who may or may not be playing, and how these things will work, because we have a couple of question marks on both sides of the ball for the Cardinals and for the 49ers as well, outside of our offense, because our offense is fully healthy. No one is on the injured list. We're not missing a soul. Everybody is there, full O-line, full running back room, full wide receiver room. Everybody is good to go. So for the Arizona Cardinals, we're going to start with them first. Zach Ertz is out. We already know that. But let's go to Thursday's practice. So Thursday, Budda Baker didn't practice with the ankle. Of course, we all know Zach Ertz is out. D-Hop didn't practice on Thursday. Their offensive lineman, DJ Humphries, did not practice. He has a back issue. Byron Murphy, a cornerback, did not practice. He has a back issue. Another offensive lineman, Max Garcia, had a shoulder. He was limited. Marcus Golden, he had an illness. He was limited. Colt McCoy, he was limited with the knee injury. Kyler Murray, limited with the hamstring injury. Matt Prater, he has a right hip injury plus an illness, but he was a full go on Thursday. And then on Friday for the Cards, Zach Ertz, once again, no practice. We all know he's out. And then DJ Humphries, same thing, no practice. Byron Murphy, no practice. Budda Baker, limited with an ankle injury. He most likely will go, though. DeAndre Hopkins was limited with the hamstring injury. He most likely will try to play. Max Garcia, once again, he was limited. Kyler Murray was limited. Marcus Golden had a full practice. Colt McCoy had a full practice. And Matt Prater had a full practice. So when you see somebody go from limited to full, most likely it's because they gave them rest throughout the week to allow them to be able to heal up as best they could to be able to play in the game. So I can tell you right now, out of all the injuries that the Cardinals have, most of these guys are probably going to be on the field outside of maybe Kyler Murray. And that's because he uses his athleticism to make plays. What's going on, John? he uses his athleticism to make plays. And if he can't run around and be the little squirrel that he is, moving in that pocket, left, right, up, down, in, out, then it limits his game. He's already short as it is, so he's got to find ways to peek through the offensive line, not look over them because he just doesn't have the height. And that unfortunately puts him at a little bit of a disadvantage. So that's why his mobility is key to his success. Colt McCoy is different. He's taller. He has enough time to be able to look over the lineman. He's definitely in the pocket. He's not a mobile guy. He can move a little bit, but nothing spectacular. I'd say him and Jimmy G are probably on the same level of movement as far as any type of speed or anything like that. And then he did shred us last year. Oh, God, Colt McCoy killed us. So a lot of us have been saying we would rather face Kyler Murray than Colt McCoy because he just murdered us last year. And definitely that was the case. John says, I'm hoping they look a lot like us versus Kansas City when we force guys out there to look like pond water. Yeah, it was definitely hard, man. We looked really bad. Dave, what's going on, Super Dave? But here's the thing. We want to make sure that we keep things going in the right way, and we make sure that we have our offense humming, because when we have a fully healthy offense, we have weapons galore. Like, there is not one person on our team you can't consider a weapon. Third down, or when we need a serious first down, we'll go to Juwan motherfucking Jennings. If we need anything else, if we need somebody to get some serious yak yards or somebody to bully a couple people, we can go to Debo. If we need some finesse in the run game, we go ahead and we go with CMC. We want somebody to pound it right up the middle, we go ahead and go with Elijah Mitchell. If we need a dude that's going to be a partial deep threat or a guy that just bounces off of players like a pinball machine, like a ball in a pinball machine, you can go to Brandon Ayuk. You know what I'm saying? So and if we want somebody to just bully you while they're blocking you and then turn around and catch the ball and bully any defender coming his way and run over people, we have George Kittle. So we have all the requisite weapons that we need to be able to get things done. Our offensive line is definitely very solid. We all know the situation with Trent Williams and the whole tipping plays type situation. It was a really big thing. Shout out to Jesse Naylor. Shout out to Last Second Sports for bringing that to our attention. And any hate that you give Jesse for that, you're stupid, you're wrong, and you need to chill out. He brought it to our attention because this is what we do as fans. We do our research. We start to develop relationships with people and start to get inside information. And then at the same time, these are just things that we can wind up noticing. Someone noticed it, sent it to him. He wound up putting it out there. A lot of people gave him hate and flack for it. At the end of the day, does it really matter? Yes and no. It truthfully does. So segueing into that, if Trent Williams' left leg is back, it's a pass. If his left leg is forward, it's a run. That's typically how it's been. And he ran through several different, plays where that was basically the case. Now Trent Williams did come out and speak on it. And he did say, though you may know that it's a run or a pass, we have like 30 to 50 options when it comes to those plays. So you don't know exactly what play we're running. You can know that it's a run or a pass, but it's not going to change much of anything because you don't know exactly what play we're running and what routes are being run by the receivers if it's a pass, which way we're going to go if it's a run. All of those things come into play. And, Acho from Speak for Yourself, he broke it down and was saying that this isn't really an issue strictly based on the fact that you still have to beat Trent Williams. But we're looking at it from a thing as a whole for the team. Like, hey, this makes it a little bit harder on other people to be able to do certain things. We have the right side of our line looks to be a little bit okay, but the issue is we still got Mike McGlinchey in the pass. His pass pro is still trash. It's always been asked. We all know that. His run pro is great, but his pass pro is trash. And then we got Jake Brendel, who doesn't know how to stay his ass, that from going downfield. I don't know why he run all the way downfield like Trey Lance is back there, but he gets that penalty almost every game. So on our O-line, honestly, the two positions that we have an issue with are center and right guard. So if you're tipping the plays unintentionally, because I definitely doubt he would be doing that intentionally after all that money we just gave him, that's definitely not the case. But if that's the case where he is tipping those plays unintentionally, then what you want to happen is you would like him to find a way to modify it. so he doesn't wind up doing that. But what's going on, Eddie Glover? What's up, Tommy? So those are just some of the things that we deal with on our O line. Aaron Banks has been playing fantastic. Spencer Burford has looked great. We've been able to keep Daniel Brunskill as a Swiss Army knife to be able to play wherever we want him to play. Sometimes he rotates in and out with Spencer Burford here and there, but I'm not mad at it. I think it's good. I think this is truthfully the O line that we will have next year for Trey Lance. Is going to be Trent Williams, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, and I don't know what's going to happen with Mike McGlinchey because I believe this is his last year. There have been no contract talks, and we don't know what's going on as far as that is. So we may have to just find the right tackle. Honestly, you could throw Daniel Brunskill in there, or you can just groom Colton McKivitz to be the right tackle. Anybody with better pass pro than Mike McGlinchey, I'll accept. So we may have that guy here. We may have to draft that guy. Don't know. But pretty much the line is fairly solid. And if we get a good right tackle in there who can pass protect, maybe Kyle will start trusting Trey to throw the ball a little more. But not going to delve off into that conversation. Going to stick to this game here. So as far as us, when our injury report, when you look at it, on Thursday, no Eric Armstead. Nick Bosa was just resting. Samson Ebicom, of course, he has a quad and the Achilles. No Javon Kinlaw. Charvarius Ward had a personal reason, so he took the day off. Same thing with Trent Williams. And then Danny Gray was limited a little bit with his ankle. Honestly, Danny Gray, unfortunately, is he's going to be pretty much a non-factor, strictly based on the fact that his job was to take the top off the defense, but Jimmy can't deliver those deep balls. We all know and understand this, and we're not going to sit up there and try to make Jimmy somebody he's not. I've always been an advocate of, as long as he doesn't fuck it up, I truthfully don't give a shit. Just don't screw it up, man. That's all I ask. Don't screw the game up. Jimmy is 10-2 when he doesn't throw for a TD. Hell, if he don't throw for another TD for the rest of the season, I could give a shit as long as we keep winning games. So that's basically how it works. What's going on, Damian Lee? So when you take a look at the offense as a whole, we have too many weapons. We have everything that we need, and we've got to start. We got to continue to get these W's. We want a 2-game win streak. We need to make this a 3. We want all the momentum that we have going into each week to be able to, get ourselves in prime position for a playoff spot and continually try to win divisional games at a bare minimum, so that if it does come down to it and we do need to get the wins in the division, and we are tied with somebody in the division as far as record-wise, we can automatically go to, boom, hey, we won our division games. If we 6-0 in the division, ain't nothing going to stop us. So we definitely are looking to continue to do with that. Right now, we're currently 3-0 in the division, so let's make it 4. So the next thing is, as far as our injury report on Friday, Eric Armstead still didn't practice. No Charvarius Ward. He had a personal reason. Samson Ebicom was limited. Nick Bosa, he rested. So did Trent Williams. And then Danny Gray was a full go. So all those guys that I listed most likely will play. You'll see everybody there. Armstead might play. I think he's probably I'm going to say like an 80% chance he'll play. You're going to see Mooney Ward out there. I've heard that Samson Ebicom pretty much is back. I think he was just limited all week because they were trying to rest his body to make sure that he didn't do anything to re-aggravate either the hamstring injury or the Achilles injury. So what's going on, Romello Ball? So when it comes down to everything that we are looking into as far as this game, our offense is at a full go, 120%. Our defense, we're missing a couple of guys, and there's some things that we need to talk about there as well. So when you take a look into this game from a defensive standpoint for us, we are missing Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw in the middle. We probably won't see Kinlaw for another couple of weeks. I don't even know if we see Kinlaw for the rest of the year. You guys know how I feel about the guy. And like I said, anything I ever say is never anything personal. This is all just a business thing. And unfortunately, it's a situation where if you're not performing for the contract that we provided you, then why are you here? Your services are no longer needed. You can go. It is what it is. Move on with life. But in this instance, they believe in Kinlaw. And the 49ers believe in injured players, and I think that all comes from John Lynch, strictly based on the fact that Lynch is an affinity for injured players, and he's a former player himself, so I can understand why he has a soft spot, all of that good stuff. So uh, with Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw missing, we have to be stout versus the run. We've been doing fairly well. We haven't allowed too many guys to gash us up the middle and whatnot. And I definitely expect this team on offense at a bare minimum score at least 30 points to be able to help the defense out. So we don't have to, the defense doesn't have to work so hard because they've been doing their job all year long. And the only game I can see that they really didn't look great would have been the Kansas City game because we got our ass handed to us and we got killed. So any of the other games, they did what they could. Some of the games they looked overly stellar. Some of the games they looked okay. But either way, they've been playing and doing what they need to do to help us win games. The offense has to give them something in return. So let's hope we are able to do so and get that rolling in the right direction. So when it comes to the defense, another thing that we have to talk about is the situation with Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward is now angry. And if you can't tell that by his body language, his responses, the way that he acts, Jimmy Ward is upset. He does not like playing the nickel. When Jimmy Ward signed his contract, he wanted to be a safety, period. He didn't want to do anything else. He is okay with being brought down into the box here and there from his safety position. But the fact is, the team has saw fit to stick with the fact of the combination of Huff and Gibson in the backfield as far as the safeties go. And Ward's pretty much ran with it, and he's been okay with it, but he's just being a team player because he knows this is the last year of his contract. I believe he only got like two years or maybe 3 years, something like that. And with that being said, hey, you got to do what you got to do to be able to get your money. The NFL usually stands for not for long. Average lifespan of an NFL player as far as being in the league is usually about maybe 2 to 4 years. And that all depends on you and if you can make the team and if you can get out there and make an impact, if you can make sure that people like you. There's a variety of things that go into that, man. So it not just talent, but you got to be a coachable person. And sometimes that doesn't always pan out for not everybody. Some people are coachable, some people are not. There's a variety of things that can go into reasons for you to be cut. It could be just the fact that they just got too many damn people. And it's not about your talent. It's just the fact, hey, we got too many people. You were the odd man out. It is what it is. Nothing personal, just business. So Jimmy Ward's not happy playing that nickel spot because right now we have Mooney. I believe we have Demo, and Jimmy Ward is playing the slot. If anything, I like Tayshaun Gibson, but I think that Huff will grow and do a lot better with Jimmy Ward back there with him. They were starting the season on a great note together, but Jimmy Ward wound up getting injured. He was out for a while, so that combination of Gip and Huff has been spectacular, and it's looked pretty good. And I know that Gip sometimes has lackluster play, and people are like, well, we should just put Jimmy Ward back there. But I think it's the communication and connection that him and Huff have built up to this point that keeps him in that spot. So you want to be very, very mindful of messing with that chemistry, even though Jimmy Ward and Huff have that and they can rebuild it. You don't want to basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm not going to go on a long soliloquy on why we should be moving people, but that's basically what it is. So on the defensive line, we still have Nick Bosa. We still have everybody. And if Samson Ebukam can't go, we still have Drake Jackson. Charles Omenihu has been looking fantastic. CG Ruthless, what's going on, man? So we did go up to Colorado Springs. He brings up a perfect point. We did go up to Colorado Springs, give us a little bit of advantage over the secondary to be on point because we're going to be playing in higher altitude. So when you play in a higher altitude, it is very stressful on your body because there's less oxygen flowing to the muscles. So you can cramp up very easily. You have to be mindful of that. These are things that you must look out for, know, and understand when you're playing football. So a lot of people have this issue when they go over to Denver to play because Colorado has a higher altitude. So, you have to be smarter about it. Like Tevin Coleman doesn't go because he has a sickle cell trait and that could activate it. So, there's a variety of different things that happen when you're playing in high altitudes. Heck, even when I hike by the mountain by my house, I can get up to at least about almost 1,500 feet in the air. And I can stay up there and continue to breathe and whatnot. The other way to train for higher altitudes is to wear the mask There's training masks that you can wear that will, basically retard your breathing. And yes, I said retard, but if anybody with the brain knows how to look in the book, look in the dictionary and understand what it means, I'm not talking about people who have a disability. I'm just using a word. So it can retard your breathing to a point where it allows your body to start adjusting to that. So that way you're able to play in it. So a couple days isn't gonna do anything. It may train your body a little, but it takes a few months, to get used to that type of altitude. But we're only out there for a day, so hopefully we don't have too much of a problem with the altitude there. We have to be very mindful in the secondary to keep an eye on these guys because we got D-Hop. I believe Hollywood Brown is back. We still have Rondale Moore to worry about. When it comes to the Cardinals and their offense, possibly even James Conner. So there's a variety of things that we have to look into on defense, but I think our defense is on point and we should be perfectly fine. We're healthy for the most part. Like I said, we're just missing our two hogs in the middle with Armstead and Kinlaw, and I believe possibly Armstead may or may not be back. I'm not going to guarantee that, but he may be back, and if he is, that's great. We all know he had the hairline fracture plus the plantar fasciitis in his foot. So we definitely have to be very mindful of both of those, not rush him back and allow him to be able to heal properly. So when he does get on the field, he's able to be productive and he's not hurting himself further and putting himself out for more time. So at the end of the day, for our offense and our defense, we look good. We don't have any real issues outside of missing just those two hogs in the middle. We seem to be healthy for the most part, and we are doing everything that we can to get right. The win over the Rams and then going into the bye week was perfect. We were able to just chill, let everybody get healthy. Elijah Mitchell looked fantastic versus the Chargers. And then, CMC, not so much. CMC only averaged 2.7 yards per carry, but that was because mainly in the first half, that's when we used CMC and the runs weren't necessarily working. Sometimes there was a couple of blocks. I heard that Brendel missed a block really bad that could have sprang somebody for a touchdown. So these are things. The number one thing with our offense is the execution of the game plan. We must make sure that we execute properly. So, of course, Brendel has had some questionable play throughout this season, and we understand that, but we've got to get him on track to a point where that play isn't questionable and that he starts to understand the way that the game truthfully works, and stop getting those penalties, man. We cannot do that anymore. We have to be smarter about it. So as far as, the Cardinals are concerned, just like I had stated, I do expect a lot of these guys to be able to play. D-Hop's most likely going to be out there. Max Garcia may be out there. The only person that I'm wavering on is Kyler Murray because I don't know if he's going to play. It's probably going to be a game time decision. And to be honest with you, with the way the Cardinals look, you might as well just leave Colt McCoy in there and give him another week to rest. Kyler has a real big issue with being a bit of a crybaby, and he doesn't want to do certain things. He's been yelling at his teammates a lot. He's been freaking out, man. So, I don't know. You paid him all that money, so now you have to sit up there and put him out there because you can't just pay him all that money and then just be like, nah, we don't want you. We're going to, kick you to the curb. That's the situation over there with Taylor Heineke and Carson Wentz. They basically put Carson Wentz on the bench and told Heineke, keep rolling, boy. You got this. And honestly, that's been Carson Wentz's career for the last couple of years, man. He's been back and forth, and I don't think that, he's going to find himself a home where somebody truthfully believes in him because for the past couple of years, what's up, CJ? He either gets injured or wherever he goes, he doesn't play well enough. And then they wind up relegating him to a backup spot and then they try to move him and trade him. So, I don't know, man. It's a hard sell for Carson Wentz because you want the guy to succeed. You want to root for him. But at the end of the day, hey, if the talent just isn't there and you're not able to stay on the field, then I don't really know what to tell you, man. It definitely looks frustrating. What's going I can never say that. Kofifi Coffee. What's going on? So at the end of the day, man, this is a game where our special teams can step up and get us some better field position. Ray McLeod has looked pretty good. He hasn't looked bad. He had a nice catch in the last game versus the Bolts. So that was definitely a good look for him. So we'll see what we have, man. And in this game, honestly, if we're smart and we have the options, we can just run the ball down their throat, man. We've got Elijah Mitchell. We've got Deebo Samuel. We have Christian McCaffrey. So we need to be able to run that ball, and we also need to make sure that we're throwing that ball accurately. I know a lot of people give Brandon Ayuk flack for that TD that he dropped. Honestly, I looked at that play. I'm sorry. I feel like the ball was behind him. Jimmy does that a lot. His accuracy on the ball, though he may have a quick release, his accuracy is definitely suspect at times. Like sometimes he'll drop a ball and you're like, yo, he did that. That was great. And then you'll see the next play. You're like, oh, man, there's Jimmy again. So you never know what you're going to get with him from play to play. As far as his accuracy when he throws the ball, sometimes he'll put the ball too high. Sometimes he'll put the ball too low. Sometimes he'll put it behind somebody. But I never see him leading a receiver. And when you're throwing a deep ball, your deep ball accuracy is supposed to be to lead the receiver and or to put the ball where nobody can get it. We all know he just unfortunately doesn't possess that. So we have to make sure, of course, exactly. Ronnie Montoya, nice to see you. Never saw you in here. Appreciate you stopping by. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button. So we have to make sure that we are on point with ball location, and then at the same time, make sure we're not getting anybody killed. Sometimes there are times, though, where he throws the ball high where he has to, because there are just too many defenders right there. And plus, a lot of the defensive linemen will get their hand up. Speaking of that, J.J. Swat is back, man. J.J. Watt is a monster when it comes to that, and he got that nickname J.J. Swat not just as joking, but because that's really what he does. He will knock down passes. One of the things he's very astute at is knocking the ball down. So when you take a look at it, it can definitely be frustrating. So let me find his stats because I'm going to look at where he is. So J.J. Watt, he has 3 passes defense this year. He has 5.5 sacks. He's their sack leader on the squad. Right behind him is Zach Allen with 3.5. And I told you guys about that kid. That kid worries me. Zach Allen is going to be a really good defensive lineman in this league. And he worries me because he gets a lot of pressure. He is definitely a good dude. So looking at the Cardinals, Zach Allen, your J.J. Watt, your Marcus Goldens, your Buda Bakers, those are some of the guys that you have to keep a close eye on. Buda is leading the team with tackles. He's got 75. As I stated, you got Allen and Watt with 3.5 and 5.5 sacks. Watt has 7 tackles for a loss. Zach Allen has 8. So those are going to be the 2 guys that I'm going to say on defense we need to key in on. We got to figure out how to stop J.J. Watt, and we got to figure out how to pay close attention to Zach Allen. If we let either one of those guys get in that backfield, they're going to kill Jimmy, because we all know that Jimmy does one or two things when it comes to a sack. He either takes it or throws the ball like an idiot, and he doesn't know how to throw it away. So we want to make sure we keep Jimmy as clean as possible in that pocket and make sure that there are no problems as far as that goes. The protection hasn't been too bad, but, you know, if you line up Zach Allen over Mike McGlinchey, yeah, we're fucked. So when it comes down to them on the defensive side of the ball, those are the usual suspects that we worry about. I say Zach Allen, you know, Buda Baker, Marcus Golden, you know, J.J. Watt. Those are the dudes that really make noise for them on the defensive side of the ball. And of course, you got Isaiah Simmons, who will try to cover George Kittle as best he can. I know that they like to put Buda on George, and that's a great battle, man. That definitely is a beautiful battle. They go at it, and they love it. They love the competition because George like competition, so does Buda. Did see Buda on the Hard Knocks episode getting upset because he was talking about he was tired of losing and whatnot. But that's the fury and the fire you want to see in someone. It's the competitive fervor that exists that lets you know that this isn't just a game. It's not just a job. This is something that they love, something that they really care about. And they do not want to go out here every week in and week out and get their teeth kicked in. They want to win. So when you give a fiery speech like that, it usually gets the team fired up. And if you're, you know, and as long as you understand what the person is doing and why they're doing it, things will work out for you. When someone gives a fiery speech like that, or someone yells or they scream or they get into you, it's not because they don't like you or they're mad at you. It's just they're frustrated with the situation. So when it comes to sports, you must at all times understand why people are doing things. And then at the same time, just get on board, man. At a bare minimum, get on board. because that person is going to lead you to the promised land because they have the drive, they have the will, they have the intestinal fortitude to be able to go up and do things that they need to do to get these wins and to be able to be better about it. Like if you have a dude on your team who just is just like, hey, I'm here, I'm getting a paycheck, it is what it is, he don't need to be on your squad. You want somebody with the fire like Buda Baker. And it's disrespect to him because he plays, he gives everything that he has every game. And I respect him as a safety. I don't respect him for getting run down by DK Metcalf. That motherfucker hit 22 miles an hour, held that shit, and caught Buda. Was like, you ain't getting no pick six on us. Fuck that. So, I mean, he's got to work on that speed, Buda. You better figure it out. But with that being said, man, we got to pay some bills really quick. So I'm going to let my man Zach let y'all know about mybookie.ag.
What's going on, guys? Zach here from 49ers Hive, and I just wanted to take a second to thank today's sponsor, MyBookie. You know football, and you pick winners every single weekend, so why not get paid for them at MyBookie? You could bet single game spreads, money lines, or parlay multiple together to increase your payouts. The feeling on Sunday when a 3, 4, 5, 6 game parlay hits is unmatched. There are low contest entry fees and over $500,000 to be won. So make it so you don't have to be a pro gambler to have some fun. Getting started is super simple. All you got to do is go to mybookie.ag and use our promo code HIVE, as in 49ers Hive, on your first deposit to secure a double deposit bonus. You deposit $50, they'll match you $50. You deposit $100, they'll match you $100, all the way up to $1,000. Take advantage of our double deposit bonus. It's right here on the screen. mybookie.ag, promo code HIVE, as in 49ers Hive. Take advantage now, guys, and make this your winning season exclusively at MyBookie.
There we go. Shout out my man Zach from the 49ers Hive. Shout out to my Hive family. I know that the background looks a little bit different, but there will be a sighting of that flag that is back there with myself and the 49ers Hive logo there. Just working on getting that together. But as I was saying, it's a situation where we have to go into Mexico City, continue to be great, continue to be dominant on both sides of the ball in all three phases of the game, special teams, offense, and defense. And we have to basically go in there and punch the cards in the mouth. We got to be mindful of Hollywood Brown's speed along with DeAndre Hopkins. The thing about D-Hop is he's probably going to get his. The other thing about DeAndre Hopkins is, what are they going to do? Where are they going to line him up? We don't have defensive backs, that travel with players. Mooney doesn't travel around with the best receiver. He's in his spot because of the type of defense that we play, which is a zone defense. We don't necessarily look into those things as far as letting a guy travel. That's just the way that our defense has been over the past couple of years since Robert Saleh took over. And I understand it. I get it. And I'm just living with it. Would I like Mooney to travel with D-Hop? Yes, because honestly, DeAndre Hopkins is a top 5 receiver in this league. It's not a game. The man balls out anytime, and he balls out with whatever quarterback you give him. It doesn't matter who it is. The man had a quarterback carousel in Houston for years, and he still was putting up 1,000-yard, double-digit touchdowns every single year. So, I mean, this guy, I may be a little off on the touchdown thing, but I know he's putting up 1,000-yard seasons, consistently. So doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, he finds a way to make a play, and I've seen him make some spectacular plays. So he is to be very well respected, and it's nothing against Demo, but that's a lot to deal with, man. It's a lot to deal with, and D-Hop ain't no joke, So we'll see what happens. As far as the coverage goes, everybody will be watching intently, and we'll see if there's anything that we can get. We can do to stop or slow down D-Hop. I'm not going to worry too much about his speed at this point because he is fast, but with the hamstring injury, you're going to be very, very timid on how you move, and you're going to make sure that you're not overexerting too much force in your body because you're going to re-aggravate that injury, and you don't want to put yourself out for the game. So he may move a little gingerly, but guarantee you, if that man sees himself in the end zone and there's nothing but green grass in front of him, he's going for it. So I definitely see D-Hop being a little bit of an issue, maybe a little bit of James Conner here and there, possibly, a little Rondale Moore out of the backfield as well, because they use him like a Deebo Samuel. So those are some of the things that we have to worry about on offense. Not really too worried about their tight end situation because Zach Ertz isn't playing and their current tight end. Not really worried about him at all. Like I said, it's just those guys. And then we just have to understand and see when it comes down to it, who will be the QB? Will it be Kyler Murray or will it be Colt McCoy? We don't know yet, but we'll see. So for us on the offensive side of the ball, we just, like I said, Jimmy's just got to not screw it up, deliver the ball accurately and on time, and make sure that, we don't wind up with any hospital balls or anything. And let's get out of this game clean, sweet, and simple. We just want to get out with no more injuries. I know a couple of weeks ago, Kyle had no injuries to report and kind of looked dumbfounded, like, oh, wait a minute. Never mind. So I love the fact that Dre, Aziz, and Fred are back. I love it. What's going on, media? And the fact that our defensive backfield is very healthy. Like I said, our defensive line has been doing pretty well. They're rotating in guys in and out. I honestly like the package with Drake Jackson and Nick Bosa on the ends. I really do. So if Samson has to sit for another week, just put Drizzy in there and let him go, man. I think Drake Jackson is going to be a really, really good guy in this league. And plus, if we have to play Kyler Murray, Drake Jackson honestly has the speed to be able to catch him. Because unless Kyler is in a straight line, he does have to shift and move and sit, and he slips a lot. If you've ever watched Kyler Murray play football, he slips a lot. Like he will fall. He'll bust his own ass because his footing isn't proper. So, that happens to any and everybody in the league. Nobody's void of slipping, if something under them doesn't sit right or they don't put their foot correctly. But he does slip a lot, and that's going to be an easier thing because that way, if he slips just a little bit, we can go ahead and get him. We just have to be mindful and make sure we don't have any penalties. But I honestly do believe that we win this game. I do believe we win it in spectacular fashion. We go down to Mexico City. We beat the brakes off the Cardinals. And, we come back home and we get it popping. I don't see why there would be an issue with that. I think everything is going to be beautiful. We will have I'm going to say the scores should be at least like 30-10 or 34. I'd say 34-17. You know what I'm saying? If we allow them to score that much, we should be able to take over and beat this offense down and make sure we try to keep them out of the end zone as best we can. CG Ruthless says he's predicting 31-21. Anyone else in the chat, go ahead and put your score predictions in there. I'd love to see what you got. So I'm going to go through these comments really quick, and then I'm going to get up out of here because I didn't get a chance to take a look at the comments because I was so busy running my mouth about the game. I do believe we have every advantage. If you look at it, quarterback, it's a 50-50, but I'll take Jimmy over Colt McCoy and or Kyler Murray at this point, just because Kyler's injured. If Kyler was healthy, he's probably a little bit of a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Wide receiver-wise, we do have the better wide receiver core. They have the better number one receiver, but we have the better wide receiving core. Tight end, obviously, nobody's better than George Kittle to me. I'm never going to change that. When it comes to the line, our line is way better than what they have. When it comes to the defensive line, they've got some formidable guys, but we have a great defensive line and we have a fantastic depth. So that's awesome. When it comes to the linebackers, we're better. But Marcus Golden is definitely to be respected. So is Isaiah Simmons. When it comes to the defensive backfield, they've just got Buda Baker for me. I say our defensive backfield blows them out of the water as far as that's concerned. If you're looking for an X factor in this game, it's going to be the run game for me. I'm going to say that the run game is our X factor. Elijah Mitchell and CMC should be able to run all over them. We should be able to run the ball down their throats and stuff them and just run them into submission in ways you can't imagine. For the Cardinals, we'll have to be more so worried about their pass game. You have to keep an eye on their run game because, as I did state, you still do have James Conner. You do have Rondale Moore, and those guys can come out of the backfield and get very dynamic if you leave the holes open for them. They can make plays. Just don't sleep on them. They're definitely there. With their receiving core, like I said earlier in the video, Hollywood Brown is back. So you want to be mindful of him, but he's going to be a little rusty coming off not playing for a very long time. And then you got D-Hop out there, a little hobbled with that hamstring injury. So we have a little bit of advantage. We can take, we can look at some things and put some stuff together, and we should be all right. There should be definitely a great defensive game plan that's already installed, and we should be able to kick back, relax, and take this stuff the way that we need to. 83% of the ticket sales went to us as 49ers. So Cardinals ain't gonna have many fans out there, if they have any fans at all. But I know that I'm pretty sure that Mexico City is gonna be rocking it. It's gonna be Niners all the way. So Dave Edmondson, Super Dave, the OG, said Kyler being hurt and Colt McCoy's knee, this would be a great week to put up 3 in a row as long as we run the ball. I love our chances. Exactly. He said McGlinchey doesn't look right mentally. I'd rather have McKivitz at right tackle until 69 can get his mind right. I completely agree with you on that one. Tommy Huxley said McGlinchey is mincemeat. What's going on, Sin? Romello Ball, he says, what's going on, bro? Y'all, please don't talk about Colt McCoy. Game yet. We haven't won the game yet, so I understand that. Okay, so this is a nice take on the whole tipping situation. Tommy Huxley says, not this tipping shit again. Trent is tipping to manipulate the defense, the defensive ends where he wants them. That's his take on it, and that could be the case. I'm not gonna lie. I like it. You know what I'm saying? That could be the case. And if that's the case, hey, by all means, shit, just keep tipping it then. Shit, if you can pump those defensive ends to what you want, that's cool. Super Dave says, one game at a time, there's no reason we shouldn't be 6-0 in the division. I completely agree with him on that. Our secondary will really be tested. Hopkins, Hollywood Brown is active, and Robbie Anderson and Rondale Moore. So the reason that I completely neglected Robbie Anderson is because Robbie Anderson is sometime. I like Robbie Anderson, but he's that dude. When he's on fire. When he's off, he's way off. But Robbie Anderson is one of those dudes, he drops the ball consistently. Like, he always does that. He'll have a spectacular catch, and the next catch will be something real simple. He could be running just a fucking hitch or a comeback. And next thing you know, boom, ball's on the ground. Like, it's a part of him. It's who he is. It's been this way throughout the career. Tommy Huxley says AA should be back against the Aints, and hopefully practice in Colorado Springs. CG Ruger said hopefully practice in Colorado Springs gives us the option, so we'll be on point. And John B. asked if that quick visit really helps. I don't really think it does. Tommy Huxley says the Fraudulents are taking this game lightly. They didn't prepare for the outs, dude. I agree with you. They did not. I'm pretty sure they just said, fuck it, we're just going to go down there and play football. But I don't know. You got to be careful. CG Ruther says heard the Cardinals were like, oh, no, we got to practice in high altitude. That's funny. Romello Bell says, we never have an easy game with the Cardinals. Remember last year when the Seahawks was not a good team, they still came out and beat the 49ers twice. Why they wasn't a good team, why they wasn't a good team one game at a time. I agree with you on that one. We definitely got to take it one game at a time and be real cool about it. CG Ruthless says Rondale can be a factor. Let me put that back up. Rondale can be a factor. Then Hopkins, Brown. To be honest, we got to limit him from those big plays. We struggle against slot receivers. I completely agree with that. Tommy Huxley says Brendel is booty. CJ Gray says Colt McCoy is a more feared QB for us. That's true. He also says Kyler holds the ball a lot and doesn't throw on schedule. That's very true. And let's take a look and see what else we got here. CJ Gray said Jimmy doesn't have the arm strength to throw deep with accuracy. That's very true. We all know that. That's unfortunate. And CG Ruthless says if we want to stop the Cardinals offense from quick passes, we got to bat the ball kind of like J.J. Watt. That is facts. Yes, if you can't get there, just get your hands up. Some of these dudes have ridiculous wingspan. I'm going to tell you right now, Eric Armstead and Charles Omeni, who have some long motherfucking arms. If y'all can't get there, just Straight up. That's literally all you got to do. Just put your hands up. You know what I'm saying? So you think about the old school hip hop parties. You know what I'm saying? Wave your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Like that's literally what you want to do. I definitely agree with that. Romello Bell said, as it was said, let Jimmy cook. I guess that's a statement back to 49er football. That was said, well, let's get our popcorn ready. Yeah, I don't know about letting Jimmy cook. I definitely don't see that much. And then let's see if there's anything else. He says CJ Ruther says Buddha injured his ankle, high ankle sprain, keep him out 2 to 4 weeks. So that's not good for him. And if there's no Buddha Baker, I'm gonna tell you right now that means George Kittle's going to run wild. CJ Ruther always says Jimmy, you shouldn't play the slot anymore. At least put Womack out there. Maybe get creative with Ward in other plays at safety where he will excel. That's true. You can do a 3 safety look and be able to have Ward, Hufanga, and Gipp out there. And if you have all 3 of those dudes out there, don't look to throw the ball deep because you're going to have problems. The beauty of Huff is Huff actually gets the interceptions. Jimmy Ward is not known for interceptions. Man has 4 in his career. Huff has 4 right now in the season. So I think honestly, yeah, you want to make sure that you put some exotic looks on your defense so that they're not ready for that. And if you think about it, you got a 3 safety look that's like, what the fuck? What is going on? And if you've already had them forced them into a situation where they have to throw, you ain't throwing deep against a 3 safety look. If you try it, I mean, you're a bold person, but I doubt that Kyler or Colt McCoy is that guy as far as the boldness is concerned. Then at the same time, you could put Gipp and Jimmy back there and throw Huff in the box. Like there's a variety of ways you can do things. I do agree with putting Womack in. Sometimes you gotta let kids get their lumps, man. And if you're rolling and you think you're gonna win the game, put Womack out there, man. Get him some reps. He's been doing fantastic on special teams. He's usually the first person down there. He does a great job there. So I think that's going to be great. Ronnie Montoya says Sosa will be on a snap count. That is facts. Yes, he will. CJ Gray says Waters a better safety. I know they're scared to play rooks, but Womack should be able to cover better than Ward. Yes, he is a little bit better of a slot corner than Jimmy Ward would be because that's what he mainly does. And at the same time, we all know Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward belongs back there at the safety position. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Jerome Davis, he says, what's popping, D? Could be this game. We see, could this be the game where we see everything start to come together? 38-20 Niners. Jimmy, 350 passing yards. Okay, you got some high expectations for old Jimbo there. I agree. All right. I like it. Definitely going to make sure that we keep it here. Keep that going. Robbie Anderson hasn't fit well with the Cardinals. Yeah, he is. He's definitely behind in the depth chart, you know. But that's why I said he's sometimey. Like when he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. And then sometimes even when he's on, he'll have that one play where you're like, bro, you were wide the fuck open. Why did you drop that? So it is what it is. CJ Gray says, my family always makes fun of me loving the Niners since I was 7, and I've lived on the East Coast my whole life. It is tough when you live in different areas where certain teams are there. And on the East Coast, it's even harder because East Coast people are, you know what I'm saying, it's nothing against it, but they are very, very aggressive. As far as their takes and how they move, they ain't playing no games, but they out there to make you feel bad about everything, man. That's why I said like certain people can't survive in the New York media world. Like if you play sports in New York, man, you got to be ready because this is some hard hitting questions, and they don't give a damn how you feel about it. They're not worried about that. What's going on, Dave? I just saw you jump in here, bro. Brian Cope, my guy. Rocky Mountain Razorback, that's my dog, man. He came on the show with me a couple shows ago. He's a really good dude, man. I appreciate everybody on the stream too. Jerome Davis, Eminem is going to be a problem down the stretch. Feed the backs, baby, so Jimmy can get some air miles. I agree. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you're running the ball so great, and next thing you know, you throw it, they're like, oh shit, we didn't expect that. We was too busy selling out to stop the run. So I agree with that. Yeah, everybody said Buddha Baker is not expected to play. So that's an advantage for us. So think about this. If I take Buddha Baker out of the equation and I'm expecting Isaiah Simmons to cover George Kittle, I don't know about that one. Isaiah Simmons is definitely a formidable linebacker, but he talked a lot of shit about covering George, and you got to be careful, bro. You don't want them problems. George is a monster, and It's not just his blocking, it's his receiving as well. It's been forgotten because we haven't seen it a lot this season, but he's definitely a beast. He said, Romello Bell says, nobody talking about the fact that we got 7 interceptions and we haven't had that is facts, bro. I've been looking at that. It's insane. Like, so let's just look at that really quick because I've given y'all the X factors for the game. I've given you guys exactly who we need to look for and what we have to do as far as to be able to win the game. So let's take a look at, just some numbers and figures for us in general. I'm going to shut down the Cardinals website. Close that injury report up too, and let's just take a look at the stats when it comes down to it. So when you look at the yardage, this just blew my mind, man. I didn't even look at this. Y'all know we over 1,000 yards rushing as a team. I honestly didn't even know that. Now, of course, 468 of that came from Jeff Wilson Jr., but he's gone. He's in Miami. He's doing his thing over there. We have 170 from CMC, 165 from Deebo Samuel, and we got 130 from Elijah Mitchell. So we're definitely doing our thing, when it comes to the run. We got 9 TDs rushing. There are 12 TDs passing, 11 from Jimmy and 1 from CMC, obviously. So then when you go ahead and you take a look at the defensive side of the ball, we currently as a team have 29 sacks and 7 interceptions. That's fantastic. And then to top it all off, we have 47 tackles for a loss. Y'all, we've only played 10 games. 47 tackles for a loss? That's insanity. That's great. Like, we got to keep getting in that backfield and slowing them up and destroying them as much as we can. Brian Cope says, Deion, have they announced what color? I don't know. I haven't seen anything that says they're going to tell us what colors they're going to play in. So we'll see what happens. Either way, it doesn't matter to me what color they play in. I believe we're going to win that game. Oh, okay. There you go. Media says the regular white. So should be good with that. But when you look at that, yes, that is fantastic. We have 7 interceptions. We have, looks like 38 passes defensed. So we knocked the ball down a lot. Fred Warner's got 6 of those. Huff's got 7. Charvarius Mooney Ward has 9. Gibb has 2. Diamond Lenore has 1. Oren Burks has 1. Mosley, even though he's out for the rest of the season, he had 5 when he went down. Kevin Givens has 1. Charles Omenihu has 1. Drake Jackson has 3. Kerry Hyder has 2. So remember what I was saying earlier about us knocking the ball down? Look at the dudes right there that I just named. Those are defensive linemen. They're knocking the ball. That's what you do. That's how you make it. That's how you make it an easier game for yourself. Knock the ball down. If that ball can't get to the receivers, it makes my life easier as a DB. And the thing is getting to the quarterback, getting the proper pressure, making sure you're crashing the ends and making sure the gut isn't open for that quarterback to step up into the pocket and or run. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I did pay the bills earlier. Tommy, the fuck is you talking about, man? Tommy be killing me, bro. I like Tommy, yo. Tommy's his personality is perfect. I love it, man. It just, some people don't like him, but Tommy is who he is. And he's one of those people, like, sometimes you meet a person, you must accept them for who they are and just know that that's who they are. And it's nothing negative. They're not trying to be mean. They're not trying to be an ass or anything. It's just how they are. I got a buddy named Mike. Mike is the same fucking way. I love him to death. He's a cool dude, but he talks a lot of shit. Hell, I'll give you a simple example. Tommy is awesome people. And he shreds on the guitar. You ain't never seen Tommy on Instagram. You need to follow. He's killing that guitar. But I remember one of my buddy Mike. We're leaving work one day. This was years ago. And I told Mike was like, damn, man, like, it's hot. I don't want to walk because he had to go get on the train. So I'm like, all right, bro, well, I'll drop you off at the train. He's like, nah, man, it's cool. I was like, get your fucking ass in the car, bitch. And he was just like, well, fuck you. And I was like, yeah, sit your ass in the back and shut the fuck up. That's just how we talk to people. Sometimes you talk to people in a crazy ass way because that's just who they are and they understand it. So you just roll with the punches. Don't always get upset at people. You know what I'm saying? We live in a very soft fucking world today. We got to be better. A little thicker skin, a little bit stronger. Don't be so soft. But that's just how it works, man. Says we 49er media, we wore the 94 against other teams, not just Seattle. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey, to me, it doesn't matter what jersey we're wearing, whether it be red, white, whatever. I like the alternate black ones. That's what my DeVar Bowman jersey is. But I'm going to get out of here, man. Got some shit I got to do, got a primo that has a birthday today, so go ahead and hang out with him. Get over there and get chilled out. I got to find some of my stuff, man, because this is it's a Mexican themed party. And I love Mexican themed parties because there's always good food, there's always good alcohol. So I'm gonna go and have some fun a little bit later today. But just wanted to make sure I dropped the video. Got to get more consistent with dropping my videos and staying on top of it. Sometimes life hits you and, you get busy, but, got to keep doing what you're doing. Everybody stay faithful, stay blessed. Remember, it's very simple. Run the ball down their throat. Use that run to turn it into the pass. We run more than we pass. We win the games. Even if Jimmy doesn't throw a touchdown, he's 10-2. Let's make him 11-2. If that situation does occur, I truthfully could give two shits. I'm not going to be upset about it. Once again, long as you don't fuck it up, Jimbo. That's all we want. Just don't screw it up for us. That's cool. Thank you, everybody, for telling me to enjoy the party. Everybody else, enjoy your days. Rocky Mountain Razorback, nothing but love to you, bro. The next time y'all see me, I most likely will have a guest. I'm probably going to start lining up a few guests. Shout out to Ted, man. If y'all don't know about Ted on Twitter, Ted H. Niners, he's always changing his name and stuff. It's like Ted Pray for Trey, all that stuff. But Ted is an awesome dude. He's starting his YouTube channel. So go support Ted as well. I know the 49er content creators have the most content creators of any franchise in any sports league ever. And I know it's another person to subscribe to, but he's got great takes. He's been having fantastic people on, and he does exactly what he needs to do, man. So shout out to Ted. Continue to support him. Continue to support Breezy, Nitty Gritty. Continue to support my dogs at the Hive, the Red and Gold Standard podcast, Forever Faithful podcast. Continue to, keep us, keep supporting us and keep us rolling. Those are my dogs over there. They welcome me and embrace me with open arms. Shout out to my man, Zach, Matt, Lefty, Perry, all of my guys over there, man. Brandon, everybody. Media is pretty much a part of the 49er Hive family himself. He's an honorary member because he just be hanging out with us all the time. But yes, you do have to win against NFC opponents. That is a very big thing because that's going to matter for the playoffs. So there's so many different factors that come into getting into the playoffs, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning in on this early morning Saturday. Everybody be blessed, stay faithful, and I'm out this joint. Peace.